Good morning or afternoon. Larry Parmen here. It's an interesting and challenging time in America. The political conventions are starting. The presidential election is gearing up. Many are actually holding their noses at our choices. And yet we see that our country is divided as never before. We see it on the streets. We see it as people continue to die in Chicago due to out-of-control violence. We see it in the attitudes about law enforcement, illegal immigration, and other issues. Many of our people feel disenfranchised. Free trade agreements implemented over the past few years certainly allow us to buy less expensive jeans and shirts made in China. But the price we've paid is the loss of millions of manufacturing jobs as our own U.S. companies just naturally search for lower operating costs around the world. These manufacturing jobs were performed mostly, not entirely, but mostly, by highly skilled but non-college educated workers. Now, those jobs are gone. And college educated kids, many saddled with tens of thousands of student debt, often find themselves working in non-skilled positions. Now that's actually not new in our country. That reflected the best of our system for a long time. It's pretty straightforward. First, you find a job. Learn a skill. Learn how to get along with others. Learn how to fit into a team. How to manage and complete a project on time and under budget. Learn to be responsible by showing up to work on time. And when you do, give a full measure of yourself while you're there. And then you move up. That's been the American dream. Get in, start, learn, make progress, and move up. That's how it's worked for millions of people since the founding of our country. Now, some respond to this situation by saying, well, the simple answer is to help all those people in the entry-level jobs, we'll just raise the minimum wage to $15. But yet, logic tells us the marketplace will respond. In 5 years, robots will greet and serve you at McDonald's, and those unskilled or low-skill entry-level jobs will disappear. And then the frustration will crescendo. Radical Islamic terrorists have slaughtered thousands of innocents around the world, and in doing so, they threaten democracies throughout the world, and they've sullied the name of good Muslims across the lands, many lands throughout the world. Many now believe it's time to end that threat. So indeed, wherever you look, there are many challenges. But we've had them before. And you might be asking, well, what in the world does this have to do with estate planning? Actually, plenty. Many of us feel what I just discussed and described, while very real, is out of our control. We bury our head in the sand, and we hope that our leaders have the discernment, the wisdom, and the courage to keep us safe. But there is something that we can control, and it's right in front of us, and yet too many of us ignore this. We can control how we manage our money, and we can control how we handle our own affairs. We can control how we choose to structure our estate to minimize taxes, eliminate costly probate and court interference, and create a seamless transfer of our hard-earned estate to our children at the right time and in the right manner. We can control how we feel about protecting our estate against the ravages of long-term nursing home costs. We can control how we want our family to handle a terminal illness, if that's part of our lives, and if that were to occur. We can control our decision to plan or not to plan. More importantly, we can decide to create a legacy, not just an estate plan. We can decide that our money, whether it's the farm, the bank accounts, the business, the lake home, any of our worldly possessions, those are not really what's most important in life. So in our planning, we can create a plan that shares our values. What's important? What life experiences and decisions that made us who we are that we want to share with our family. And by the way, that includes our wins and our losses. It's a process that keeps us from becoming an empty box on the family tree, one that future generations will look at and wonder, who was this person? And what in the world did he stand for as a human being? In 1787, the Constitutional Convention was held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You may remember from history that security was very tight. Secrecy was paramount. Anxious citizens gathered outside of Independence Hall, eager to hear the outcome. Would it be a monarchy? Or would it be a republic, more of a democracy? Well, it finally ended. And at its conclusion, a lady by the name of Mrs. Powell asked Benjamin Franklin about the outcome. "Dr. Franklin," she says, "what did you give us?" His response, "A republic, if you can keep it." Now, whether we do or do not is yet to be determined in our country. But think about this. Your plan is your Constitution. So I say to you, when considering your estate plan, remember, your children will ask of you, "Mom, Dad, what did you give us?" Wouldn't you prefer to have the answer be, "We did our part. We gave you a legacy. Now it's your responsibility to keep it." Get your estate planning done. Thanks for listening. This is Larry Parmen with Parmen and Easter Day.